The second state that we have to convince that Bavaria is out of line and completely unacceptable at this point and needs to be curtailed is Baden. And the Grand Duchy of Baden is as liberal as it gets. So similar to what we did last time, we probably can't show up ourselves. Because obviously, von Schleicher is not having the best reputation among the liberals at this point. And focusing on unreasonable Bavarian demands might be a way to go about it. But we do have a vice-chancellor who is actually from the SPD. So the early Querverbindung actions of von Schleicher are bearing fruit here in that we have some people available who are more palatable in order to send them over on diplomatic outreach to convince the duchy to vote in our favor. So we'll send Winnig, and that sounds it just sounds like the best option. Either that or just ignore it. But I'd rather secure this early and spend the political power than getting into trouble later on. So let's see what happens. We'll send him. And unfortunately, Baden, despite his efforts, are standing with Bavaria. So that means they will vote in favor, which means they've got 9 votes, we've got 22. Well, we'll check again with whatever the next state is going to be. In the meantime, we have troops on the way to the Princely Federation, and these somebody pointed that out that I can just right-click on it. Thank you very much, because that is a much better way of looking at it. So the Princely Federation are sort of the only ones we are a bit in favor of, really. And we'll see them as a bulwark against the commune under the Syndicalist control here. And as such, we're sending some support. There were some comments not sure if Siam was actually part of the war. So if we're looking at German East Asia, that looks in fact not to be the case, but Siam is at war with the Philippines by the looks of it. But what I'm surprised of is this incursion here, and this did. I could be wrong here, but this was not originally where German East Asian troops went, was it? I remember the border to be a little bit less like this, but maybe I misremember. And the Kingdom of Siam, no, definitely there has been conflict between German East Asia and the Kingdom of Siam here. And I am just not sure what's going on, but they don't seem to be part of the conflict. If I look at the war, it would be the Indochina War, yes. So that's just Indochina that we can't join. Yeah, something weird happened here. I am reasonably certain that this was not originally looking like that, and there has been troop movement here, but apparently the situation has calmed down. However, the Dutch East Indies are pretty much in trouble at this point. And the question would be, should we send some support? Because German East Asia, who is much closer to that, doesn't seem to be inclined to do so. So we could try to send some divisions over to help the Dutch out. If we're looking at the Netherlands are not part of Middle Europa. They're having severe problems with their stability. So I would call them neutral towards us, and this does not necessarily feel like something we need to get involved, because we are already involved in way too many conflicts at this point. However, getting through Serbia is probably the first thing we're going to be doing, and the Union is concerning because it looks like the American Union state is not going to be able to hold back the Syndicalist scourge here for much longer, just given the sheer amount of enemy divisions that are pushing here. And they seem to be reasonably well equipped, whereas the American Union state is That is not what I was trying to do. Whereas the American Union state is certainly not capable of maintaining this war effort. I mean, they have very little in terms of industry, whereas the syndicates are significantly more powerful. We do have some pretty good insight from our operative in the area. The MacArthur's faction is equally weak, and sort of so are the Pacific states. But however, the Syndicalists are holding the strongest territory here. So again, we will do what we can and do as much damage as we can. But if in the end we can't hold them back, and it turns out that the United States join the Syndicalists, then so be it. Because, well, do like a challenge. All right. However, Air Force, have I sorted that out? We have one group here. Did I send another air group over to Rome? I believe I did. So let's have a very quick look. We have first, two, one coming over from Florida. We've got two Jagdgeschwader in Italy. The Papal insurrection in the north is about to be squashed, so we do have to make our break here and break out in the territory as quickly as we possibly can, while we're waiting for the additional reinforcements to arrive. And Bulgaria is going on. We are pushing them back here, taking some territory. And the Union we are just desperately holding, but it looks like we might not even be able to hold the port here. Against the relatively significant onslaught. We might have to actually fall another division back here and see if we can make it there in time. But I think that we are definitely getting pushed back in these positions. And we can take the airport that cuts this division off. And we are moving south towards Karajevo, and that hopefully should be the end of Serbia in this particular civil war. In Sicily, we are getting counterattack from the north, but we are trying to break through. Unfortunately, they have gotten reinforcements in. And these are powerful. My gosh, what are we dealing with here? High entrenchment. Are we attacking across river lines? Yes, we should probably not do that. I was kind of hoping that we could. Yes, there are too many divisions here to break through. Instead, we will reorient ourselves north towards Terni and try to see if we can make that push happen. And these two divisions will stop the assault, because these are also not assault divisions. These are regular infantry forces. And as such, our initial attempt has been foiled. So we will send two divisions north, and I was hoping that we could break through and encircle the port here. But while the rest of the Italian army is busy in the north, but unfortunately, two strong defenders here at that point. In Bulgaria, we have isolated this division, and I think Serbia should probably be falling any moment now. We shouldn't have to assault it any further. Let's have a quick look. Serbian-Bulgarian war. Serbia is 85. Okay, so no, they're not yet giving up, while they're holding Pristina. So we will probably just keep moving and take the mountain positions there and keep pushing in the south. And then once we have regained some, what do we have here? We've got some Serbian divisions here. Once we've regained some organization, we can deal with these. But I don't think they will be. Let's support that from here. I don't think they will be lasting particularly much longer. So I will just take some territory. Meanwhile, in the Union, yes, we are being pushed back here, which means that the northern position is no longer tenable. And I think at this point I am going to fall back because we are at risk of being cut off here. So we are going to fall back and we are going to try and see if we can maintain... Yeah, offensive operations I think at this point are no longer viable because the Union is collapsing here. We could try to go for a counterattack near Birmingham and see if we can cut off some enemy divisions, but I think with the Union divisions all but exhausted, it's probably better to create a defensive... I was kind of hoping to create a defensive circuit here, but we will probably create a new defense line. I don't think we can even hold Charlotte. We could try. So we could try to create a new defensive line here and get everybody to fall back and move back over here behind the river lines and see if we can manage to hold the position here near Charleston. Sicily, we have pushed north. We are now waiting out the counterattack, but we are going to concentrate there. And we've got two... Can I convert one of these divisions into an assault division? My division is not encircled. I am reasonably certain it isn't. But, okay. We are... Where are we going from here? This is hilly terrain, and we are defending behind the river line, so we might just try and wait it out for a counterattack. Our air force has arrived, so we now have actual aerial superiority over Italy, which means that these operations, yes, these operations should become a little bit easier when we are wearing down the last of the enemy fighters, and then we can get to work on their bombers and support craft, and yeah, they are starting to lose quite significantly here. So with two air wings in the theater, that should be reasonably stable. I think we'll hold here for now and see where we could push. We could try another push towards Ancona across the hilly territory here. How's the supply situation? Unclear. Because okay, there we go. That's better. We do have supply out of Rome, which we are holding at this point, but I don't think that'll particularly last. We could try to take the supply up here. That would be a major strike, but I'm not sure if we have the forces to do so. But I will move my forces. I will leave one division. Nah, I need all my forces. So I'll move all forces north. And we will attempt a new offensive towards Ancona and the coastline. And we get all 4 divisions onto that, please. Okay. And then we'll let them exhaust themselves against our lines for a little bit. Who are we fighting? Yeah, this is all socialist troops, because all these in the north are going to come, are going to return once they've dealt with the last of the Roman. The last of the Roman troops here, and then things are going to not look as easy. So while we have an opportunity to cut off and destroy some troops, I will give it a shot. So let's definitely move these divisions here, and then we will see if we can manage a push towards the coastline. Alright, Union is currently the most critical, so I'll probably... Bulgarian troops are all sorted. I do have to keep an eye on the Black Monday decision, because that is relatively close. We are 4,400. I think we are at the point where I can get away with capital controls, because that would be... investment is the big one. So 4,400, 750. Yeah, we're good actually. So I can use the capital controls. And that should get us over the line once that ticks over. Just so I don't forget it, because it's still 20 days, and it's only 1% debt. I doubt that we get enough construction done to get this, or maybe. Okay, I'll keep it for a little bit longer, but for now we have to move over to the Union volunteers and manage this carefully. The opposition criticizes the army. The two most influential opposition parties, SPD and LVP, have begun using the Reichstag as a soapbox, this time to agitate against military spending. Both parties have pointed out the massive finances rightfully dedicated to the Heer, that's the German army, and called for a reduction, which they state could be redistributed to social services or education. Supposedly and foolishly, according to them, Germany is under no threat except for the threat it creates with its aggressive military. Not only that, but the SPD deputies pointed out the supposed influence of the Heer in political affairs, claiming that the OHL, the Oberste Heeresleitung, the Army High Command, is influencing the incumbent government, attacks which were immediately rebutted by the parliamentary arena. This costs us 2% war support, which is unfortunate. And yes, obviously, the left at this point is, I wouldn't even call it delusional. I would call it treasonously so, because the threat from the syndicalist insurrection is obvious. So the left in Germany, and that includes the LVP and the SPD, has clearly taken the side of syndicalism, because by undermining German fighting power like this, they are trying to weaken the empire to the point of a syndicalist takeover. They've seen the successes that the syndicalists are having in the United States. They've seen the uprising in Italy, and they've thrown a lot in with the enemy. So these parties are no longer to be considered part of the empire. These parties we're going to be working towards outlawing these parties if possible. Now, we have to be careful about it because they still have a significant amount of influence, because they still hold together roughly a quarter of the votes and of the popular support. But yeah, we do have to be very careful with these. And last thing I need to check before we move on again is the situation in Ireland. We are 33 days away, and the British don't seem to be moving much, so that's a good thing. Now let's see if we can manage to make an organized retreat here. Okay, we've managed to retreat from this position. That is good, but that means, well, we have to probably hold here for now, waiting for the divisions in the north. So I'm going to temporarily get these two divisions to hold here. While we are retreating from the north. Charlotte is not going to be is probably not something we will be able to hold. But we are retreating. Yes, and they were trying to cut us off in the south already, so we did have to be very careful here. We are retreating in the north, trying to hold the lines, so we'll have to stabilize the positions and then retreat behind the river line. And we are dealing with the Grand Duchy of Alsace-Lorraine. Let me guess, without reading this, we're going to play on French fears here. The Weltkrieg and its consequences had far-reaching consequences, again, on Alsace-Lorraine's internal political development. The formerly badly integrated ugly duckling at the empire's western frontier was elevated to a true constituent state under a Bavarian Grand Duke in 1920, and ever since, the region's political conditions have quite ironically, slowly but steadily aligned themselves with the predominant developments in Bavaria proper. Like in Munich, a particularist, vastly autonomous branch of the Zentrum has become deeply entrenched in Strasbourg, the People's Party of Alsace-Lorraine, the ELVP. Catholic conservative, extremely regionalist and anti-socialist, that is good, the ELVP has absorbed almost all the remaining pro-autonomy groups in Alsace and Lorraine over time and won the masses' favor with populist phrases à la Alsace-Lorraine to the Alsatians and Lorrainers. After decades of marginalization, the ex-Reichsland is now finally riding on a wave of unbridled particularist pride. With the emergence of the commune next door, Francophile tendencies have almost been entirely sidelined due to Paris's controversial stance on religion. The ELVP's political hegemony is almost uncontested. Alsace-Lorraine's close ties to Munich, of course, make them a prime ally of the federalist cause. It'll be hard to convince them to support our efforts against their most important strategic partner within the empire. But Strasbourg might be more easily swayed with populist promises of anti-syndicalist, democratic federalist safeguards than we think. We don't really need to fearmonger about France. So Alsace-Lorraine, obviously, is anti-French at this point and somewhat fearful of the French and syndicalism, which is what we're going to be playing off. Because they are close to Bavaria, so focusing on unreasonable Bavarian demands doesn't make sense. They're very independent-minded, so they're not going to go for a stronger empire. So the only chance we have here is to focus on fear-mongering about France. And they stand with Bavaria. Dang it! So that hasn't worked. So we've lost another one. And where are we? Bavaria nullification crisis. They're at 12 votes, we're at 22. We need 10 more votes. But we're on a bit of a losing streak here. So let's hope that the Eastern territories are going to be voting more in our favor. Quick look over at Bulgaria. We have now an opportunity to wipe out that division here. So let's make that happen. And we are still taking Serbian territory, and Serbia is going to fall. So there's no question about that. But they are holding out quite a lot. And in fact, this attack might... Okay, we're still not getting the encirclement bonus here. So I think I'm just going to leave them be up here and stop the attack. And I am just going to move to the southern border instead. And we are just going to keep taking territory here. So this is secured. And we get Podgorica. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And that hopefully is enough. So let's stop all the other assaults and focus on the Union. How is Sicily doing? We have made some progress in Sicily. And I need to shorten the front lines here. We have made some progress in Sicily. We are getting counterattacked, however. So we will see if we can manage to... we definitely need all divisions on hand here. So we'll see if we can manage to make a break for the coast before... Yeah, they're done in the north. So all these divisions are going to come rushing back. So if we have a chance to do it, the chance is now. We'll see if we can make a break towards the coast. And we've got the divisions... Oh, perfect. That's perfect timing. We've got the divisions arriving in the Roman frontier. What can we have 2 tank divisions and a mountain division. I am going to... Well, we're holding Rome for now. And I think I'm going to focus everything on... I'm going to get these divisions to hold for now. Okay. Never mind. No, we're not holding anything. We are going to move without much of a plan at this point. None of this is great territory for the tanks, is what I'm thinking. But we get the 2 panzer divisions to hold the critical center line here. If I can get a front line there, I probably can't. Fallback line here does not look like. Okay. That's fine. We'll move everyone here, and then we'll sort out the lines when we get there. We might be able to use the mountain divisions to clear out the troops here. I'm not sure if we can break this, but we will give it a try. And I definitely would like to get one division to move here while we can, and see if we can create a wedge. But it is a very difficult one. Princely federations have arrived. I'm going to deal with that later. How's the Union looking? We have managed to somewhat fall back successfully, but Charlotte is already under threat, so we will be falling back from here, and we'll be falling back from here, and then I think we have an organized retreat, and we can get all divisions. We can get all these divisions assigned to that line. Fall back here, fall back from the front, and then move over. You fall back and then get across the river. Sicily. Troops are... okay, we are holding. We're holding here. But this is very precarious. So we're going to have to manage this carefully to make sure that we are not getting cut off. But I would love to take Ancona. It's a race at this point. So we'll let these divisions dig in. We're going to get the 38th Infantry Division to take the hills, and then we're going to try the is it 41st? 41th? 41th? It's a weird one. While the Italians are pinning the troops here in the south, we'll try to get the 41th to break through towards Ancona, and we are sending reinforcements from the tanks and the mountain divisions, which obviously are going to need to rest a little bit. Union, yes, we're falling back. Bulgaria, we are taking territory, so I'm not concerned. So Italy and Union are currently the tricky ones, and obviously we do need to keep an eye on 14 days. We are still at 4,400. Okay, we're not going to construct enough in 14 days to push this over. I am just going to use the capital controls. That'll get us over the line, I think. No, we need to exceed it, right? Okay, now we'll keep watching it. Ireland still stable, 14 days. Okay, we've got 2 divisions, and unfortunately Ancona is defended. That means we are not breaking through towards Ancona. We are at the edge of our supply here. We're so close to encircling them. Unfortunately, they would have supply through the port. I really would have had to take the port, but there are 3 infantry divisions counter-attacking us from the port. I had hoped that they were pinned in the south, but I don't think this is at this point any more viable to push through here. It'd be a really good one. Okay, we get the armored divisions to hold here. Where's my mountain division? Mountain division move north, and we get the infantry divisions from the expeditionary force to focus on the spearhead here. And what we can try, these are getting attacked from multiple regions now. They're trying to obviously attack from, yeah, there's too many divisions. I don't think we can hold this. It is hilly territory, so they might be able to defend themselves for a little. But I think in general, once all these other divisions are joining in, they're not going to be able to hold this. They're going to inflict some damage here. Maybe with air support they can hold it. It's a gamble. I could try to counterattack into the. No, I don't want to counterattack into the mountains, especially that they have additional mobile troops here in the north. Yeah. I think this is too thin of a line, and we are too far from supply. And since we're not able to take the port, I don't think we can hold this. So I think what we'll do is we will unfortunately have to fall back here and look for a different opportunity. So we're falling back. We cannot hold this. We'll fall the troops back for now. We'll look for a different opportunity and see if we can manage to break through somewhere else. And in the meantime, the Union volunteers are still on an organized retreat towards the river line. The divisions here... Okay, we've lost Charlotte. I think at this point it's relatively clear that we're not going to be able to hold this. We can try, and this is risky, we can try to create a push and try to encircle some of the divisions here. And that's probably the last hurrah that we're going to get. But Charlotte isn't going to be. We're not going to be able to hold Charlotte even because the weight of the Syndicalists here is too great. So I don't want to get encircled and lose anywhere. We might be able to retreat further, trade territory, and see if we get opportunities to cut off and destroy enemy divisions. And that's probably what we'll be doing. But for now, we'll fall back behind the river line here near Charlotte and see how that's working out. Bulgaria, we are still taking territory, and still Serbia hasn't capitulated. They are 86% towards capitulation. So I think once we take the western positions here, that should be it. Sicily overextended, and we do need to fall back from here. Maybe. Can we hold this? Can we hold this? Unfortunately, the fast troops now have closed the gap here. We may be able to run a counter-attack. I could send a third. I'll send a third division over. That's probably all we can get supply-wise, and we'll try to hold on for a bit longer and see if they can exhaust themselves, and we can counter-attack maybe towards the north here, towards Ravenna. That might be another option that we can have. Okay. In the meantime, Honduras has joined the Liberal Pact. I don't even know. We have the Roman volunteers, and we have the princely volunteers that we need to organize. And then I think that's the last thing we'll do today. So princely volunteers have arrived in Madras, as they should. Where do we have supply? Where can we reinforce the front line? Because I don't want them to say, this eastern part here sounds like a good place. North, not so great. We'll reinforce the line here near between Hyderabad and Yanam here. So let us just create a front line up in the north, and 1, 2, 3, 4 position, perfect. We're not planning any counterattacks. We'll plan them, but we're not waiting to execute any. I'm just gonna go and secure the front lines here, and that's all we do. We have a tricky situation all around. We've got 13 days left for the next round. 4,600. Okay, that actually means we can do the capital control now. How much? We've got 13 days left. How much were we still constructing? This will be done March 18. That's afterwards. Yeah, no, we're not going to construct anything else in the meantime. So we can take the capital controls. And with that, we have 4,600 extra coming in. So that's enough to push us over, and we're done with the Black Monday for this round. And then one more and we're done with it. The island situation is stable, but the Bavarian situation is kind of not going our way at all at the moment. So after initial successes, it looks like more and more states are joining with Bavaria here.